Good afternoon, everyone. This is Ali Hussein Kasim of Ali Talks Tech. This is our weekly roundup of tech news across Africa. Today we are covering 4 key stories. Some happening in Africa, some happening outside Africa, which have some implications on the tech ecosystem in Africa. Deal, an global HR platform, acquires Africa's PaySpace, which is another HR platform based in South Africa. Number 2, we are covering Stripe's valuation, which has spiked to around $65 billion. For those of you who have followed the Stripe story, Stripe is one of the largest, if not the largest, fintech in the world from a startup perspective. A couple of years ago, it was valued at $95 billion, and we'll cover that story on what has happened from $95 billion to now $65 billion. We're then going to look at Nigeria's regulators fining Binance, which is the 800-pound gorilla of the crypto exchange space in the world. Binance last year had trade volumes of over $8 trillion. The Nigerian regulators have fined Binance $10 billion. We'll delve into that story shortly. Paytm, which is an Indian fintech, is in trouble with the regulatory authorities in India. We shall be covering that again. Back to my deal story. Deal acquires Africa's PaySpace. Now, guys, we're always talking about agri-tech, fintech. Now the new kid on the block seems to be clean tech, with all the ESG conversations going on. HR tech seems to be the unsexy poor cousin of the tech ecosystem. But I can promise you one thing. There is some interesting conversations going on in HR tech, not just globally, but in Africa. In Africa, we have a couple of players in this space. For me, the 3 most known brands in this space is Seamless HR, a Lagos-based HR platform operating across Africa, WorkPay, which is a Kenyan-based HR fintech platform. Full disclosure, I am chairman of the advisory board of WorkPay, so it's an area I am pretty familiar with. And PaySpace, which is a South African-based HR platform. The global HR technology market was valued at about $31 billion in 2022 and is expected to grow by about 9.35% annually, compounded annual growth rate to hit around $53 billion by 2028. This is according to Global Research Market, a research company in the tech space globally. So, question to you: are we seeing some consolidation of this space in Africa? Are we seeing some global players taking some serious interest in the HR tech ecosystem across Africa? PaySpace, one of Africa's players in this space, as I've mentioned earlier, has been acquired by Deal, which is a San Francisco-based HR platform. According to TechCrunch, Deal revealed on Tuesday this week that it has crossed $500 million in annual recurring revenue, also in brackets ARR. Originally, outside of this transaction. So that $500 million in ARR has been outside the transaction of this acquisition. And that's a growth up from $290 million in ARR at the end of 2022. Deal has also claimed that it is EBITDA positive since 2022 and still has $600 million in cash left in the bank. There are rumors of an IPO, but that's still a way off, probably in the 2025-2026 timeframe. interesting times ahead for HR tech. We go to Stripe's valuation, which has spiked to 65 billion. Now, a couple of years ago, before the downturn in tech stocks and tech investments, Stripe was valued at $95 billion, the richest fintech anywhere in the world. This is a huge payment infrastructure play. Stripe operates in multiple countries. End of last year, their valuation was at 55 billion. Again, as I said, because of the market that has seen depression over the last couple of years. But now that has spiked to $65 billion. And this is caused by some internal happenings in the company that has seen some of its investors agree to purchase over $1 billion of current and former Stripe employees' shares. So, like any other tech startup, Stripe offers employee share ownership plans, and some of these guys are going to have a super interesting liquidity event close to or over $1 billion. Some key numbers as far as Stripe is concerned. Stripe owns 68% of the e-commerce payment processing technology in the United States as of end of 2023. As of 2024, the total number of live websites that use Stripe is 1.34 million websites. As the first quarter of 2024 nears its end, Stripe owns only a 6% of the payment acceptance technology worldwide. So still, payments is extremely fragmented across the world. There are many players, including the big players like Visa and MasterCard. In 2022, Stripe generated 14 billion in sales, while it was able to generate about 12 billion in 2021. Net revenue of Stripe was 2.5 billion as of 2021. That's the latest we have numbers for that. Stripe generated 2.2 billion in revenues in the APAC and EMEA regions as of 2022, and Stripe can be accessed in 47 countries worldwide. 3.16% of the top 1 million websites use Stripe for payment processing. Over 30% of Stripe users are from the United States. Now we go to Nigeria, where the bold Nigerian regulators have fined Binance. You know, I'm still trying to comprehend this number. I'm always thinking, is it $1 billion? Is it $10 billion? Considering that the U.S. State Department a couple of months ago fined Binance $4.5 billion. So what exactly did Binance do to get this humongous fine? Not to mention that a number of their executives were actually put in jail. So, ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria is not playing. It's not playing when it comes to crypto. They have demanded $10 billion from Binance, the crypto giant. So, we will be delving deep into that story as it unfolds. Last but not least, as far as my story this week is concerned, Paytm, one of the leading fintechs in India, has been fined by the Reserve Bank of India, 660K fine on money laundering charges. Paytm Payments Bank, which is a regulated entity of Paytm, says the fine pertains to issues within a business segment that was discontinued 2 years ago, and that it has since boosted its monitoring system. Compliance and regulatory matters remain a challenge for many fintechs worldwide, an area that requires C-level and board scrutiny. The Reserve Bank of India has come out strongly to say we continue to support and encourage fintechs across India. In fact, the India Finance Minister has announced a weekly online meeting with fintechs. This will be interesting to be following up closely. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, I come to the end of my weekly roundup for this week. Keep it here, keep it real. Speak to you again next week. Thank you, guys.